Good morning, everybody. Easter Sunday morning, or the second day of Passover, or Sunday, however you want to call it. It's Weekend Recharge. I'm Mark Elliott. Paul Goodlow is off today. And
so happy to have you here. Whatever day we want to call it, it's also April 5th. I'm Maria LaRosa, by the way. For the next hour, we want you to sort of unplug, get lost in the weather. It's a great philosophy that we want to kind of push here on Weekend Recharge. We know it's hard, and a lot of times you can't. You just want to put the cell phone to the side, really absorb. We've got a lot to get you ready for. Yeah,
including the chance of severe weather.
They bring Mayflowers later.
Okay.
I don't know.
Late Mayflowers.
Late Mayflowers, yeah. Let's get you kind of talking about this because you may think this is kind of late in the season to see it. Not necessarily. Average last measurable snowfall for cities like Buffalo, Albany, Syracuse, Burlington, and Bangor. Early to mid-May, but I should say early to mid-April, but it's as late as May that you can get some of that snowfall still on the records books there. It's pretty incredible. But we are talking about the April snow today, that's for sure. And it's not a lot, it's enough. As you saw from that picture, it's just keeping things dusted here. Buffalo still reporting some snow, 31 degrees. Rain on the south side, marginally cold. So even with the snowfall happening, you may get a little bit of rain mixed in. No mixing in at all at Mount Washington. Always love checking in with these guys. A whiteout here. Winds are 62 miles per hour, so that wind chill is 29 below zero. But we do have enough cold air that we've got some rain and snow showers again today and even into tomorrow. But Mark, when we look at snowfall totals where it is snowing, it's on the order of 1 to 3, so maybe some slushy spots. That should be just about it.
Yeah, so people should be able to deal with this one. And get ready for this because this story is a hoot. It's all about an owl in Cambridge, Massachusetts, making the headlines, single-handedly putting a stop to tree removal work.
Until the stubborn tenant leaves, the tree will stay. Pretty stubborn and will stay put.
Very comfy there, just hanging out.
We'll be right back. Springfield, Wichita as well. The main threats here, heavy rainfall, damaging winds, and large hail. But really things get kind of interesting towards the middle part of the week. That part of the system we see impacting heavy rainfall, showers and thunderstorms from Cincinnati to Pittsburgh. A little too cool there to really amp up the severe threat. That changes, though, as we get into Wednesday. Once again, Kansas City and St. Louis, Springfield, you're in that red zone all the way down to Dallas as the dry line now becomes part of the ingredients here coming together for that threat. The Torcons are out already a few days ahead of time. We're really starting to zone in on what this is going to look like here. 4 out of 10 for eastern Kansas and north central Oklahoma. 4 in 10 chance within 50 mile radius of that area seeing a tornado. So kind of mid on the scale there. And that is definitely good news, but we'll talk about how much and just how long that's going to stick around and talk about a lot sticking around. Rain and storm threat again as we get into the early part and middle part of next week. This is going to be a setup that is very similar to what happened last week, and everyone knows there was a lot of severe weather, so we want to get everyone ready.
Yeah, potentially even a more active severe weather threat this week.
Everything's ramping up as it is this time of year.
And of course, just ahead on Weekend Recharge, we're never far from the stormy weather.
It's still a little chilly to dip your toes into the water, though, even in North Carolina. But we're getting there. We're getting there. All right, time now for the 7-day stretch. You got to stretch it out because we got to get you ready for today. Big travel day tomorrow, I'm sure, but also big severe setting up. So lots to prepare you for.
Yeah, indeed. And you know what? We're already setting the stage for that severe weather. Southerly winds cranking, bringing up that moisture from the Gulf. Not only the warmer temperatures, but the rain is going to be cranking. So for this Sunday, watch out across the south.
And you notice where it's not quite there in the southeast. Gorgeous Easter Sunday in the southeast. In fact, let's take you now to Charleston. So we have that active area. Things begin to pick up as far as severe weather on Monday.
Yeah, you know, further into the south and east, we've got Mississippi, Alabama, eventually Georgia, seeing steady rains. The Midwest seeing a little bit of rain, and something that we also haven't seen is the West.
The West is seeing snow and rain, all of it, and all of it much needed. But if you are traveling, you've got the I-90 corridor. Maybe a little tricky, so watch out for that. But down the 5, San Francisco 60 degrees, but this is only going to increase. We're going to see more of this as we get into Tuesday.
Yeah, follow that I-90 or I-80 corridor into the Midwest. You run into some of that rain there too, and heavy rain. The Ohio Valley seeing rain, the Northeast seeing rain, but welcome precip out west.
Yeah, again, San Francisco down all the way to Southern California, and you brought up a great point that yes, it's going to be much needed, but you've got to watch the burns.
But the severe becomes the big story by the middle of the week.
And it's severe on many levels, not just the hail, but the tornado threat it kind of ratchets up a little bit here on Wednesday, but also the heavy rain threat.
Yeah, the Tennessee Valley, including Nashville, and really goes all the way to the East Coast by the weekend.
Right, and west of the Mississippi, a little bit of a different story, but up 95 on Saturday from all the way from Jacksonville clear up and through Portland, Maine. You have showers.
Inside safe.
I hear you.
I know.
I hear you.
Yeah,
but it's still, it's got to be unnerving. And I know even pilots talk about turbulence being like, oh, it's just like potholes in the air. It's not a big thing. Then they avoid it for the comfort of passengers, not so much for the craft
plane be
itself.
fine. The plane would be fine.
Lightning,
turbulence, the plane is going to be fine no matter what. That said, white knuckle riding, that's for sure.
Great news, Medford staying cloudy, temperatures back down into the 40s by the time you wrap up your Easter evening. And then by tomorrow, again, whether it's getting back up to work or heading out on spring break, watch out along Interstate 90 from Seattle into Montana because you are looking at a little bit of mix, but we're happy to see plenty of rainfall on that map for like the 5. Going to see a good amount. Not as much as we'd like, but enough.
Yeah, meanwhile, if you're away from that rain in the southeast, it is absolutely gorgeous out there.
That's right, but that is kind of an indicator that, you know, yes, 'tis the season. Early April means a lot of things, but it also can mean snow for some places. So we're talking about that and the Clipper, and it got us thinking too, is this really unseasonable snow? Well, take a look at this, this chart here. We've got Buffalo, Albany, Syracuse, Burlington, and Bangor. The average last measurable snow for these cities tends to be this time of year, second or first week of April, but the other side of the column there is the record latest measurable snowfall for these cities, and you see they're all into May, and in the case of Buffalo, you've seen measurable snow as late as May 29th. Kind of amazing. So we do have more April snow through tomorrow for a lot of places, including all those on the list. And we're starting with today. Buffalo, you're seeing the snow, 31 degrees for you, but it's marginally cold, right? Cleveland, 46 degrees. So there will be times, even those spots that are seeing snow now, that you may get a little bit of that rain mixing in. That continues in through, say, the New York State Thruway, maybe just enough to slush things up just a little bit. So keep that in mind. And it's always fun when you're talking about the Northeast and New England in particular to check in on Mount Washington, New Hampshire. The observatory there, always fun to see the current conditions. It's 3 degrees right now. Obviously, they've got some snow and some freezing fog there. But the wind chill, can I point that out? 29 below zero. Yeah, 60-mile-per-hour winds with single-digit temperatures will do that to you. But regardless, here you've got the cold and damp weather here in the Northeast and the Great Lakes tonight. That secondary batch of snow with that next little disturbance is going to bring some snow in through the UP of Michigan, northern Michigan, and back into the Northeast. And if tomorrow is your travel day, just be aware it's not going to be a lot as far as accumulation. In fact, maybe about an inch or two in many spots. Northern Wisconsin may be the big winner with 5 to 8.
Yeah, sky right now. One thing that's different on this map is right behind you, Maria. We haven't talked about Pacific Northwest or West Coast rain and snow in a while.
You know, sometimes we do a little editorial commenting of rain and clouds and snow, but we want this.
Yeah.
We want as much as possible, but we got it in Northern California. It's just going to continue here even on into Tuesday.
Yeah, it is excellent news for Southern California and Los Angeles. We're snow desperately.
And another facet to that is that the mountain snow. So yeah, the Sierra Mountains are going to pick up some of that, but no snow. Not the big story in the eastern half of the country there by Tuesday.
Yeah, no, we've got southerly winds absolutely cranking. So heavy rain and a flood threat for the Ohio Valley on Tuesday.
And this is a fascinating and very timely topic for sure.
So thanks for unplugging and spending some time with us today.
Thank you, Mark, for hanging with me on this Sunday.
Thanks for letting me play along.
Hope you have a wonderful day. Weather Geeks next.